I got into launch photography, I think around 2013. Didn't have any idea what I was doing. I showed up to the base without even having cleared security and all that stuff. And the guy's like, oh, I can't let you on. So totally sweating, and it's only like 5 minutes to go. I had to bring all my gear, and it started to launch. I probably shot about 17 frames, and that was it. The guy standing next to me was Gene Blevins. And I was just like, hey man, like, how do you do this?
I've probably been shooting launches, I believe, since 1985. I've always been interested in space and space shuttles. I got more involved in aviation photography with a magazine, and then started shooting rocket launches. It's really something everybody should see at least once in their life. There's a lot of build up to it, setting up cameras. It's hard to describe. I mean, it shakes the ground 3 miles away, and then you feel the compression in your chest when it launches. The only way to really get spectacular shots was to be closer, and the only way to get closer was to have remote cameras. I designed one door that opens and it shoots the pictures, and then the next door closes to protect the lens. It gets hit with the debris, but you saved your lens.
The whole thing with the Home Depot bucket was, I learned how to build the camera housings from looking what the other guys used and how they did it. My colleague Gene Blevins, he used PVC tubing. Guy probably tried for about 2 months to find PVC tubing that was 12 inches in diameter, and it just wasn't happening. I kind of looked at myself, I was like, wait a minute. Okay, what's the diameter of one of these stupid little buckets? It fit the fans to keep the humidity off the lenses, and it was pliable enough that if the camera gets knocked over, it's almost squishy enough that it will take a hit. I have lost 3 lenses and 1 body.
I got plenty of broken filters and plenty of lenses that have gotten sandblasted.
I have not lost a remote, the actual structure. I have not lost a tripod, and I have not lost a GoPro so far. But there's a lot of launches to come, and I try to not think about the equipment. I try to think about the frame. Every launch is unique. Every launch is a one-of-a-kind event. And if you really think about the nuts and bolts of what you're seeing, it's an incredible feat of mankind engineering all the cool stuff about rockets. If you wanted to build this rig at home, this is the first thing you have to do. Get a tripod. The second thing you need to do is get what they call tent spikes. They're about 12 inches long, and they basically are the only thing that's going to keep that camera rig from moving. And it's also required by the Air Force. You have to have a camera that's fast enough that shoots on a burst mode. Next, what you have to have is a sound actuated trigger.
Fire! Fire!
If you want to have your camera protected, make a rig like I did using a tube or whatever. On top of that, you need to have power. Lots of power. Here's the power supply. This is just a general old car battery in a cooler. I can pick it up, put it wherever I want. It's safe, it's secure, it gives me a week of power. It's waterproof, it's weatherproof. The other thing you need to do is have a big memory card. Buy whatever you can afford. Do not shoot on RAW. If you shoot on RAW, it's slow, and that will fill up your buffer. So you have to dither down your shots to like a medium fine. But that will also fill up your card faster because you're shooting more photos per second. So you gotta have a big card, you gotta have a fast camera, and you gotta have power. It's a commitment, and I promise you, things go wrong.
Okay, this one had a problem, looks like. Power supply's not working.
And now you see the reason why we put these things in enclosures. How soaked is your camera?
One of my quick release brackets that stay on the ball head on the tripod apparently is missing in action.
This one's, the door's still up, so that's not good. God damn it. You have to plan for every scenario, threefold. Photographing something that has like 2 million pounds of thrust behind it, it's an awe-inspiring thing. And to be able to be that close and not get like incinerated by a rocket blast, it's so awesome just to know that, hey, that's what you did today.